Okay, test, test. This should work now. Okay, starting again. This is What's Up, Dave. I'm Dave. This is a stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet, letting them know what's going on with me, and sharing anything that I've learned about them. This is actually the first time. Well, actually, I just finished. Well, I could say I just finished doing some last-minute checks on a server transition that I'm babysitting over the weekend. So my head is actually clear of other people's worries for once this week. Um, it's been going on for like a couple weeks now. So this was an unexpected server transition. I don't like doing server transitions, um, but I am good at worrying about things. So I guess this makes me suited for this kind of stuff. So it's a line of work I really need to get out of. Anyway, it's Tuesday, October 17th. It's about 6:30 p.m. here in New Hampshire, and I'm trying to figure out what to do next. And one thing I realized, I haven't been looking at this shell. This is a shell. This is a nice artisan sculpt of a shell. But this is something I forgot that I was doing this October, which was the October challenge. My October challenge was to make progress on stuff I'm doing. And the server transition kind of, sort of like swept it under the, just shoved it on the back burner. So now it has to recover and figure out where I am on this. And for that, I need to actually see where I left off. And fortunately, I did actually write down this card. It says I'm keeping track of it in my Quiver Index 2017 notebook file. And it says, step 2, try to resolve something. Do it until I'm bored, then switch. And the fourth thing is work on persona development, which is just about, I talked about this, I think, on Friday. It's me trying to learn different ways of expressing myself. Stuff that I think you usually figure out when you're like in junior high school or something like that. Like, who am I? What jacket should I wear? That kind of stuff. What music do I like? Do I like music? Does music like me? Do people like me because of my music? And I never was very good at that kind of stuff because I was a huge nerd. But now I find that I am equipped with the mental self-awareness and knowledge of my own internal processes. I'm still apparently a big nerd, but now I have the awarenesses that I can maybe put together a more considered, a more purposeful, physical presentation of who I am. So it's kind of exciting and daunting because I usually don't think about that kind of stuff, but increasingly I think it's becoming important for me to do that in pursuing what I think my work is going to be, which is to be some kind of beacon, be some kind of focusing point for a certain kind of creative energy that I like to be around, that I would like to be part of generating, which is, I think in general, being able to pursue things that you want to pursue and not feel too encumbered by other people's judgment, just to be able to try things out and see where it goes, but doing it in a way that you can meaningfully extract knowledge even from the failures and can present it in a way that other people can find. We were just talking about this in the virtual co-working chat room. Courtney and Strudel and I were in the noisy workroom talking about issues of citizen science and journal papers. We were talking about open paywalls for academic journal sites or academic journals, which kind of drift off into a conversation about citizen science and open source stuff, and then how there's I'm kind of thinking there might be an alternative economy that develops around more of the principles and values of sharing and working together, rather than treating it as like a one single pie that you need to carve your slice out of so no one else can have it. Is there a way to do that? Is open source a way of doing this? What kind of values does one need to have to be able to make this happen? What kind of vulnerabilities will you have, and then how can you still ensure yourself that you make a living? I think the original conversation came out of talking about the extension of copyright, at least here in the United States, in which copyright was originally, I think, something like 80 years or something like that, 70 years, and it's been extended by corporate interests several times over since then. Is that good for the society in general? Is it just business as usual? Who knows? Anyway, I want to carve out my own little bit of this and be able to just express myself more which is also part of the personal development. How do I present myself? How do I use my physical presence as part of as a tool in doing this? And then how do I just get my own stuff done? And the two things I really want to get done right now are, let's take a look. The cat's tail is in the way again. Where's my, I don't have Quiver up. Are things related to self-expression. One of them is the website, and the other thing is like working on some software projects. So here's my global continuity, my Quiver index for 2017. Is that it? Yes. And here's the October challenge. Intentful technical project selection. That is doing things on purpose instead of like just kind of accidentally, which is what happens to me all the time. Like I'll stumble upon something that's interesting and make something that's cool. So it looks like there's several topics. There's the blog, starting the new blog after archiving the old one. There's a blog building part that I started. Let's take a look with that. So I'm going to build a pure website prototype. I have done some work on this, but I don't remember exactly where I left off. Then there's the Patreon related stuff. This is more the public face of sharing the design work that I do. And because I've been so busy in September and October, really August through now, I haven't had time to really work on my own things. And this is one of my own things. Another thing that's more looking forward is the 1701 web framework, which is my version of a video game engine. That happens to be useful for the paying grant work that I'm doing. Server transition. This is my server transition, not the one I've been working on. Fortunately, the work I did on this one actually is going to may help the new one go faster. E-commerce stuff, this magazine stuff. Yeah, so this essentially is what I had written on this index card attached to this shell. And then behind me, is all the stuff. This is like some of the e-commerce stuff that I was showing off yesterday. So this is stock that I had returned from Amazon because I was sitting in the warehouses too long. I was going to start getting socked with expensive stocking fees for it's not sitting there and then just being there for the busy season for Amazon where they charge triple the rate for storage. So really I'm just taking inventory of what's come back. Is this a 50 sheet pad? So this is got an ATP 50. This is the one with the instruction sheet on the back, I think. So I guess I'm going to put this here. Yeah, and then this is one of those. So I'm just unpacking these just to see what I have. And I'm hoping this giant pile of crap in my living room is going to inspire me to do something about it, because I cannot help but see it. What is this? This is a... Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's here. I just need to kind of clear out all those boxes and stuff. So... where does that leave me right now? Frankly, I'm a little overwhelmed. And there's even this to-do list here that I haven't looked at in a while. This is my household chores to-do list. And it says things like windows. I need to replace my windows. I need to replace the front screens. I need to review the condo master coverage plan. I do need to do an air conditioner replacement estimate. There's a couple places I want to visit. I want to visit the Steelcase dealer in Manchester. There's a video conference supplier nearby too that I want to look at television multi-splitters. Condo porch door, rebate for the thermometer or the thermostat. I was going to get car stuff done. Oh, I need to double check whether or not my therapist is in my network or not. I thought she was, but it may not be. I'm getting socked with all these medical bills. Plus, there's the upcoming enrollment plan for the Affordable Care Act, which I don't know if it's going to be around for much longer. So I'm expecting lots and lots of expense increases. So I guess I'm a little stressed out by all of this, but making forward progress on these things. So if I can go back to if I get this blog running again, then I can start really, I think, building it out. At least I can stop thinking about that. The goal I have for the blog is to be more of a resource. And so right now it's really more arranged as a bunch of pages and a blog, essentially. So really there's a home page. Then there's the productivity tool section, which has all these things. Then there's the blog. And, you know, the blog format is, I don't know, this is kind of dead, I think, these days. This is a nice thing to have, I think, for just newsy things, but I haven't been doing news so much. And I certainly haven't been writing here. But the investigations page, this is what I want to expand out. And I have an idea of how this might work, but I just need to make it, I think. I started working on a plugin to archive all the old posts. There's like 2,000 or 3,000 of them. And then convert that to a structure that's a static HTML structure where there's I don't have to be running WordPress anymore. And the rest of the website will be a static site. And I think once I just get that over working minimally, even if it doesn't work really well, at least I'll have a way of expressing myself, and then I can refine the system as I go and add the features I need as I go. So making that minimum set is the thing to do. So next question, how am I going to keep track of my focus now for the next few days? I mean, I've got 1 million ETP pads over there, so I might as well crack one open and use it. And maybe I'll use one of the full-size notebooks. I've been didn't have very many of those, so I've been hoarding them. Where did they go? That's weird. Suppose I have oh, they're under here. So here we go. So here's one of the ETP notebooks. Full-size one. I think I will use this. I mean, let's have a look at it. Full-size ETP notebook. Let's see. Let's take a look at inspecting the build. I kind of hope that they would get some nicer shrink wrap. Some thicker stuff. It's okay. Keep protects it. And it's just not very... I wish it was a little bit more substantive feeling. If I could get the thicker cover stock, but the thicker cover stock is unbelievably expensive. It would have to, like... It would add, like, 30% to the price. Just for slightly thicker vinyl. So let me just peel this open. I'm just going to use this. This is the first one I get to use for myself. You know what? This nylon vinyl cover though actually feels pretty good. It's actually like it took like 3 or 4 years to actually get to the point which I could find affordable vinyl through my printer. This isn't bad. And this is the new one, so it should have a front blank sheet, which is good. This has the rounded corners, and this is using the version 4 design, which will be a pleasure to use. It doesn't look like it's straight, though. Let's write this. Why is this offset so much? No, I guess that's right. Okay. This is like the front sheet. I should really put the instructions on the back of these. That would probably be nice. Yeah, so alright, so we're going to use this thing. It's a shame to throw this away. This is actually, I actually kind of like the way that this design came out. This is a 4-color job. You can see it because I have black here. This is a product that's also actually ready to be wholesale because I have actually have a SKU for this. The other ones don't. So alright, let's use this thing. And since it is late in the day, I'm actually going to use this first sheet slightly differently. So you can use the ETP any way you want, but the general idea is that you write down the list of things you want to do over here, that you keep notes about stuff going on, and then this is where you fill out the grid throughout the day. It's late in the day now, so I'm going to kind of ignore this part, and I'm just going to write down stuff in here, and this will be my day-to-day continuity. What I'm not sure I'll enjoy is whether or not I'll like writing on the back side of these pages. there's something kind of inconvenient about having to flip back and forth like this. Or it's nice to have like the list. I should look into making an ETP compatible task list. Maybe something like this big. It just goes there. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Actually, I could just use a regular post-it pad. What am I saying? Do I have any? But it would be cool to have my own, right? Alright, so what we'll do here is a little post-it note here. And I'm gonna transcribe from that screen. Do I have a split screen plus aux view? I do, okay, good. So let me go and look at this October challenge thing. Here on the left side and right down on the right side. I think these are both the... No, that's me plus this middle, and then that's the aux game for this one. Okay. So, what am I going to write on this? Let's check on this thing. So, I'm having a brain fart, so let me just talk my way through it. There's really the blog conversion. Then there is the server. Oh, no, this is all static. Then there's a 1701 project. That's actually pretty important because this affects billable work next year. Oh, what did they write? 1701 project. That's important. Patreon. That's important. E-commerce, Amazon, that's important. I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now. There's the Nerd Magazine, which is maybe a back burner project. And then there's the personal style challenge, I suppose. These are all things I want to get unstuck on. And I'm going to need a larger piece of paper. But I'm going to put this up here for now, just so I'm ready to look at it tomorrow morning. These are specific, I think these are going to be the specific projects I'm working on. So I might add to assign these project codes. But where would I keep the project codes? Let me look at my project code directory. So over here, I go over to this desktop. I have a project. So these are my existing project codes. So I forgot I had this. These are for other people though, but I might not want to make my own, consolidate my own projects into the same system. This is where I'm keeping all the other projects. I would need to convert these all to personal project codes, though. How would I do it? I could have run a separate system. You know, right now these are kind of just named. Let me print this list out. I wonder if I can do this. Copy. Quiver. Let's call this project. These are the projects. Copy this file to the note. I think I broke it. What? That's not what I wanted to do. I just broke Quiver. What I wanted to happen was just that. Okay, that's more like it. It actually looked at the box of that. So this is a list of all the files that were in there. So these are possibly. Oops, damn it. which of these to convert to personal project codes that are compatible with my current project code system. One advantage of combining my my work project codes with these is that assigns equal weight. So personal projects no longer are projects that are conditional if there's no other work to be done. They become part of the work, and I had to schedule time between all of them. And it also means I need to be more diligent about what projects I take on and measure the cost and the benefit that I get from them. So going back to this, I guess I'm back here. Let's go back to the index, which is, I guess this is the challenge one. So I wrote that down there. I need a bigger piece of paper though, and I need some more light. Where is my paper? Getting a piece of paper over here. And I'm not going to go very much longer for this, but I just want to kind of get these things put out of the way. There's some stuff to show off too, like I got this thing. So, project block conversion. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write these out on this piece of paper. 1701, Patreon, and I'm going to make kind of like a linked cloud of things. Because these all are meeting specific views. Block conversion, this is, I guess I'm making kind of a mind map. This is self-expression. It's also packaging knowledge. And it's also distributing knowledge. Which is about receiving connections. So I'm receiving I guess I'll just call it receiving knowledge. Just assume that knowledge means something cool. I'll just make that knowledge equals cool stuff. Cool stuff. So I'm not bored, because that's really what kind of matters. So personal style, this is kind of related to also to beacon of my interests. So is nerd, which is to attract a compatible community. Which is to curate and nurture a community that creates possibilities and supports them. I guess this is maybe like a major goal. Let's put a little star next to this. So there's an arrow that points to that. This beacon points to this. Receiving knowledge, distributing knowledge. This comes down to also receiving money. And also receiving opportunities. So money is a thing, knowledge is a thing, opportunities are a thing, possibilities is a thing. So this is like the receiving pile. This is the community pile. Patreon is about this as well. Personal style is a beacon of the interest. Nerd is also about all of this stuff too. And it's also about personal style, which is about self-expression. Blog conversion is about packaging knowledge. It's also about self-expression. It's also about distributing knowledge. These are entry points. (17.01) is about packaging knowledge, and it's about distributing knowledge. So Patreon is about, that's really more about giving, I think, or making my work and knowledge available. This is not even on camera, I'm sorry. This is what it looks like right now. Let's go to this full screen. So I'm trying to identify kind of like these structures, because I sense that all these products are linked somehow, but I'm trying to really map out what that means. And I'm seeing like the things like the blog, 17.01, Patreon, Amazon, personal style, and the Nerd magazine. These are entry points. These are portals. These are portals I'm building. They're stores, or they're things that people can interact with, that lead into this cloud of stuff. These are kind of like the meta products. Meta product that people can find. So people are searching and they find these oases that lead to something else. It's interesting now, so people say, what is behind this? So the Patreon is about this. This is also about making the work and knowledge available. That's Amazon as well. And this also feeds into money. Patreon feeds into money, receiving in kind. One thing I don't have on here is the co-working community. Co-working. That is really all about this. Creating and nurturing that nurturing thing. So I think these are the main elements. So let me write that down. This one thing I want to do is probably, let's see. This is a nice looking form. Damn it. Looks good. It's this. I haven't seen the actual version 4 printed on the real press, but this looks way better than it does than from my laser printer. Damn. This is nice paper too. Sweet. I really need to promote these things. These are great. But what am I going to write in here? I think I want to write this up. So we'll do write up. Let's call this diagram something. This is the major projects and connection points, for lack of a better term. 17. Write up the major Major projects diagram. Oops, still ran out of room. We'll just keep that in here. Unfortunately, this is not the notebook that is wide enough. I really should have made it that way. You know, since we're going to produce these separately, I think I will actually do the next run so it's a little bit wider. I will call it the, that would be the 8811. This is the 8511. The 8811 is the one that probably would have that. So the next run will be the 8811s. But I might make the 8811s in hardcover. Yeah, that's too bad. The way this project developed was based around those other products that didn't sell. But that's too bad. Because this would be a great notebook in that size. I really should make these 8811s. There's not a whole lot of traction on these either, so we will do that, and it will be good. That also means I can make a little bit more room on the side here, maximize the space a bit better. Yeah, that would be that would be good. So that size is good. This side would be good too. I can actually widen this part a bit. Yep. Maybe I should break these into like sections. What else can I add to this to make this great? I'm thinking about doing spreads. So each side, you'd write something out. I like the idea of this side being blank. And sort of doodling. If there's a way to do both. It's a nice notebook though. Alright, so we have this going on. That will be for tomorrow. I'm going to keep the diagram in here so I look at then. I guess another priority is just to try to get back on a regular schedule. Because I've been waking up at weird times. This is really nice. I need to put a label on it. But, let's see. I guess this is fine for now. So I'm going to use this notebook. Alright, so that's today's What's Up Dave. Let me just go through some quick stuff. There is some things I got. This is a knife holder, which is, I can't open it for some reason. This is just a knife block. I want another knife block for my knives that's closer to my cutting board area. These are replacement filters for the cat water fountain. And I got these cool bag things, but they're in the kitchen right now, so I guess there really isn't all that much exciting stuff to show. Oh, I did get this purple cushion, which I'm sitting on right now. I saw this on Facebook. Someone else had shared a link on it. I was looking for a cushion to sit on, and unlike those memory foam ones, this is made out of some sort of polymer that seems more resistant and still giving. I don't know if this is showing up at all. For some reason the light isn't working. So yeah, so this mesh thing. I was curious if it would work or not. It looks like I'm sitting on the wrong side of it. So this is this big gel thing. It's inside of this thing, and then on this side there's like not kind of a texture on it to keep it from sliding around. I was putting it on my office chair over here because like there's a bad spring in it, or a bad pneumatic whatever that thing is, the pneumatic lifter thing. I can't find a replacement for it. This is like a really, really old steel leap case chair that I got cheap, and it's hard to find like the original pre-version 2 pneumatic lift tubes. So kind of screwed on that. At least this makes it a little bit higher sitting now, so it's not as uncomfortable. This one's a little bit too low and it keeps sinking. So I'm actually feeling in a better height right now, compared to like where my hands are on the desk. So this is today's disjointed What's Up, Dave. Just trying to get things going again, trying to get my head wrapped around stuff, trying to reestablish some good habits. I'm going to stick this thing in the notebook too. And just kind of work with the tools that I have and make that work again. I really wish I had made this the 8811s, so the 8511s. I'm gonna have to change the next round of it, just so they work a little bit better. Yeah, that's too bad because it's gonna be expensive to do. So I'll just have to be patient until I can afford to do that, or I can try a Kickstarter on it. You know, but then there's all the fulfillment stuff. It doesn't need to be a lot of money. It would be a Kickstarter for like $5,000, and maybe $10,000. And if we got $10,000 to do that and capped it at a certain number, that would be fine. It would allow to get some stuff going. I don't know if I have the energy to do a Kickstarter though. There's like a lot of like preparation work you have to do for that. Anyway, that's it to What's Up, Dave. A little bit of a boring one, but necessary for just getting my head back in the game. Oh, I did see Blade Runner, the original, last night with my friend Alan, in preparation to go seeing 2049 with him, and hopefully IMAX. And it was the original movie was quite beautiful. I'd forgotten, and I realized that I really didn't understand the movie when I first saw it, which was I was probably like 12 or 13 or something like that. So on VHS, it just didn't seem as exciting as Star Wars to me at that age. And even later when I saw it, I wasn't really you know into the cyberpunk stuff as much. I'm trying to think of when I really started absorbing that stuff. It was probably with Ghost in the Shell, you know, the manga, which would have been in early 2000s, something like that. You know, so well after, you know, I haven't seen Blade Runner since then, and I'm struck by what a nice movie it is. You know, there are aspects. This is a theatrical release version we saw too, which means it has that voiceover that people hate in the beginning, and the voiceover is indeed terrible. But it was the theatrical release, and it's the version that my friend Alan has seen hundreds of times when he was a kid, and so it was good to share that. And kind of see the movie again fresh with like eyes. So it's like it's only now that I'm almost 50 that I can kind of get what the movie maybe was going for. Back then I was like far too inexperienced in life and even in the genre to really appreciate it. But now I do, I think. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be on an earlier schedule. Boink. Most of the time trying to figure out what I was doing and bringing systems, my organization systems back.